Good morning and welcome to Live with Lewis for the 1st of December 2005. We appreciate you joining us this morning for this broadcast. It's sort of a summation broadcast. We're going to show you some footage today of our arrival, actually our crossing of the Columbia River, and some footage from the Oregon side of the Columbia River, the sort of places that Meriwether Lewis, William Clark, and the original Corps of Discovery would have visited as they became sort of temporary inhabitants of that south side of the Columbia River. We're going to be visiting Seaside, Oregon, the salt works, and some of the places down by Cannon Beach, Ecola, and those areas where they visited the whale over the winter of 1805, 1806. And we want to remind our internet audience that you can send your questions and comments to us at lewisandclark@clayton.k12.mo.us as usual. And if you're watching on the live broadcast, of course, we'll try to answer those questions possibly in today's show or maybe sometime later. If you're watching the archive, you send those questions and comments to us and we'll be able to get those responses to you in as quick time as we possibly can. We appreciate you joining us again for the 1st of December 2005. Today's broadcast is going to focus on sort of the arrival, as it were, and at the beginning of the winter camp, the third winter camp that Lewis and Clark spent there at the Pacific coast. We're going to start with showing you a very exciting series of video clips that were taken as we actually crossed the Columbia River. Now, 2005, a little different than 1805. In 1805, Meriwether Lewis and the Corps of Discovery made their way, excuse me, back upriver somewhat and crossed near what is now called Jim Crow Point from the north side of the river over to the south side and worked their way down the south side of the Columbia River. Our expedition made its way, trying to make a little history ourselves. We crossed just above the Megler Astoria Bridge from a place called Napton, or just by Dismal Niche, the same place the original expedition was sort of trapped against the rocks there for several days, and we crossed over toward Astoria. The circumstances of the weather and the river that day actually made us have to work our way upstream. So we came in just west of Tongue Point, and we're going to have an opportunity today to share with you several minutes and sort of an edited version of crossing the Columbia River in Mato, Chante, the 26-foot ponderosa pine dugout that we made near Lewiston, Idaho. And this is a very exciting opportunity for all of you who are watching today to have a virtual opportunity to cross the Columbia River and understand why this most treacherous area in American waterways is such a feat to cross, and why the original expedition actually made their way back upriver. And we're excited to show that to you, and then we'll be actually sharing with you some additional footage today of some of the areas on the south side of the Columbia River as the Corps prepared to make their winter camp at Fort Clatsop. Of course, Fort Clatsop has burned down. We know that the reproduction of Fort Clatsop burned down a couple of months ago, and we're going to be doing a broadcast today immediately following this one from Oregon, where we're going to be talking with some folks there about the reconstruction of Fort Clatsop and helping to share with folks that piece of American history, as well as the first permanent establishment there of the United States government was made at the coast of Oregon 200 years ago. Thank you again for joining us for this edition of Live with Lewis, and we hope that your holiday season will be a fun one. Please enjoy this exciting opportunity to virtually cross the Columbia River with us. Thanks so much.
Let's go! We need to bail this thing!
You know what? Before we go anywhere else, let's get it up here right now and let's mix this up.
I think we can push it all. Let's get it under here. We can lift it.
Well, yeah, once again, that's the roll.
Let's pick it up.
Can't we just walk this end around that way?
It's easier to roll it, trust me. It's a lot easier just to roll it in the water.
Okay.
Let's, ready? Is it on? That's on.
All right.
Let's pick up the back.
Back here.
Pick up the back.
pull on the rope and go out.
Go. Mato Chante has been in the water. Okay.
Well, it is the morning of the 15th of November 2005, and the plan for this morning is to take the dugout canoe that was made at Lewiston, Idaho, and has come this far from canoe camp on the water. And today our intent is to take the canoe directly across here toward and shoot an azimuth directly for Astoria. And then once we get over there, work the shoreline around into Young's Bay and up to the site of Fort Clatsop on the Lewis and Clark River. It's kind of exciting because 200 years ago our predecessors had to go as far back up as Jim Crow to cross over, and we generally try to learn from the journals, and we've been trying to take our counsel from the journals, but in this particular instance we think that today we're going to be able to make this crossing. That is our hope, that's our intent, and if we're successful, it should be the lowest crossing on record of a dugout this close to the mouth of the Columbia River, so we're real excited about it. And with us we carry hopefully the message of peace and friendship, and as you can see by my headgear today, in addition to paddling for the people of the United States, we want to paddle for our brothers and sisters in Chinook Nation, and we're here to remind people that while this may be a difficult task for us, that 200 years ago that the Chinook came and went across this river, the mouth of this river, in their canoes, which are far superior to this in terms of their freeboard and their ability to take waves. But we've got a pretty fast dugout here, and we're excited about the prospect of taking it across, and we're proud to be crossing here at the mouth of the Columbia in the traditional homeland of our Chinook brothers and sisters. So.
Thank you, Jeff. Hey, you guys are right on, and this is, oh my goodness, this is very important. You're welcome.
Bless you, my son.
What is this lettering?
These are D sharp. It's a pentatonic scale. But anyway, guys, this is my gift, and in respect of your efforts and your exactness and your struggle, because I know what river travel is.
Well, welcome to the Corps, brother. You're going to paddle today.
Old man, I'm an old man.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad we ran into you, brother.
Oh, well, I think it was meant to be.
It was. It was Washte. It was very good, and we're so glad to have a Chinook member on our crew. That's awesome. First squad is very proud.
Well, thank you. This is something that's been in my heart and in my mind for many, many years, and I knew it was going to take place, but I didn't know how. I didn't know, but all the different things have come into effect. I don't know if it's the spirits, but I know it was meant to be.
We know it is.
Yeah.
We know it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll get suited up.
Well, you're.
We're going to cross the most dangerous part of the Columbia River, the mouth of the Columbia, and we're trying to time it so that we have a high tide that just starts to ebb. We don't want to have an incoming tide that goes counter to the regular river flow, the outgoing water. That creates a lot of turbulence out there. But everybody wants to get an early start. I understand the tide is at noon, the high tide, and here it is almost 10 o'clock and they're threatening to leave the beach. And I feel a victim of these impatient people. We'll go along with it. I'm supposed to be the safety director. I'm a licensed, I hold a limited master's license. I can pilot vessels up to 45 tons. So I'm piloting something well within my limit, a 16-foot dory. But the dory's built for, originally they were built to launch through the surf and go down the Rogue River if in whitewater. So it's a pretty good, safe vessel for going across the Columbia. It's a lot safer than a dugout canoe. And I'm waiting to get this show on the road, I have to admit, even though I just expressed an anxiety about going too soon. Nevertheless. How are you feeling about it, Jay? Wonderful.
With some trepidation.
With some trepidation. Exactamente. That's the name of the game, trepidation.
Iron rod and slavery clang, curdling chains. We fear them not, we trust in God. No can be as God forever reign. Order, arms, as you order. Are you good there, Len?
Now you got your rope for your back. Down there? Yep, I'm coming. Yeah.
Okay, I'm coming.
Okay, you're on the right side. Willow, you're on the right side, Willow.
No traffic. No traffic.
Well, I'm still focused on them getting across. We're a long way from across yet, and so just praying for them.
What do you think Dennis and Clark were thinking when they were crossing up the river a bit?
They may not have been praying quite as hard, but I imagine they were praying.
Guys, look good! Hey, Chuck! You know any paddling songs? Within 50 yards. What do you think? 50 more yards. Let's go Hawaii 5-0. There it is. Start. Start. Yeah. You heard what Jeff's saying, right? Yeah.
Leading on. Well done.
Hello there. I don't want to do a 360, but I may have to. Everybody got paddle. There we go. Let's go. They got MCs coming.
Not you. Jeffrey's doing it.
What are we bailing? If it ain't up to your ankles and over.
You're fine. You're fine. Keep the seat on.
Oh, we're ready. Yeah, we need power. Yeah.
halfway across, man.
All right.
Channel, that's not very wide. That's good. We're almost across. All of us almost across. All the way. Glenn, thank you for being here today. Yeah. I want them to step out of that boat on the dry land.
300 yards. Quarter mile left, but maybe a quarter.
We want them to get all the way there. Park dugout over. I'll get out of this. Storage station. This is Wilson Park over. Astoria Station, this is Wilson Park dugout, over. Ron, take her into the right across the stern. heard us? I don't know. We told them you were crossing the shipping way. They want to get to the point fellas, it's not the place to have a problem. I guess it is the place to have a problem. Let's not have a problem. Congratulations, Sergeant Ordway! First squad's across! You want to go get some coffee? There's coffee right there.
Right at the coast line. Let's go. Okay.
But you gotta go in singing, you land-loving, scurvy-ridden what?
Start us off, Captain! Start us off, Captain!
Oh, I wish I was a paddler aboard Mato, Chante. Tell me, Sam's gone away. Brave work, me boys, brave work, I say. Sam's gone away aboard Mato, Chante. I wish I was the barman aboard Mato, Chante. Sam's gone away aboard Mato, Chante. Oh, brave work, me boys, brave work, I say. Sam's gone away aboard Mato, Chante. I wish.
Put it away before we do that.
Scott, where do you want? How about, can you take it from over here?
My name's Jay Rotkin. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana.
I'm Doug Iyer. I'm from Pullman, Washington.
My name is Jeffrey Freeman. I'm from Eureka, California, but this is my homeland.
Willow Bill, Wheeler, Oregon. Here I come, son.
Churchill Clark, Denver, Colorado.
Scott Mandrell, Alden, Illinois.
Thomas Iyer, Sergeant Ordway, Lewiston, Idaho.
Ron Lemon, Crawford, Texas.
And don't forget the dog.
And don't forget the dog. And Siemens Bicentennial from Middlesex, New York, Denali, Newfoundland.
Ow!
Right behind you, Chante!
Yes, our journey is almost complete. We have crossed the mighty Columbia River. All we need to do is paddle down along Astoria's shore, around the corner to Youngs Bay, and up the Lewis and Clark River to Fort Clatsop, and our journey of 490 miles is complete. A mission achieved for America.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Just glad to be here. 10 years of work, and I'm glad it's almost over. I'm going to Disneyland.
I'm here for William. It's a huge moment to get over here, and we're almost done with this year's journey. And I don't want to forget the horse people at this point in time, though. Ward Whitty and John Hill, who made it possible for us to ride horses 300 miles over the mountains. I wanted to send a shout out to them.
I just want to say, son, I'm going to be right there, buddy. I love you.
And I'm here for the Chinook Nation. I don't know what to say. Thanks, guys, for including me in this. This is a meeting that I've been waiting for all my life, and you're a heck of a group. Thank you.
I'm just an old retired businessman with an incredible brother who was tackling a job I thought might be a little dangerous. So I'm here basically for safety. Har har.
This trip is for my children, Zechariah, Joshua, Sarah, Rachel, and Elijah. Thank you, Ward. Thank you, John.
Well, if that didn't keep you on the edge of your canoe seat, I don't know what would. I hope you enjoyed that. What's exciting now is that we've made our way across the Columbia River, and now we're going to be able to take a couple of minutes and share with you some images of places like Fort Clatsop itself, Seaside, which is where the salt works were. You'll see some images there from the reconstruction of the salt works operation, where Lewis and Clark's men, under the direction of the Field brothers, who of course were chosen for the expedition in large part because they came from a family of salt makers back in the Kentucky area. We'll see some images of the salt works. We'll see some images of the Cannon Beach Ecola State Park in the area where the Lewis and Clark expedition visited the whale that had washed up on the shore over the winter of 1805, 1806. And you'll see some of those images there. Hope you enjoy those. And again, thanks for joining us today, and we'll say goodbye to you in just a few minutes after we see this footage.
Here at the site of Fort Clatsop near Astoria, Oregon, you're able to see an example of the forest that obviously the Corps was interested in because it held a lot of game, elk, deer, that would provide them food for the winter, and of course the trees they needed to build the fort itself. This image shows you the replica reconstruction which was built by the community in the mid-1950s. Sadly, that reconstruction burned down in early October of this fall, but is going to be rebuilt through the course of the winter of 2005-2006. The National Park Service has a wonderful visitor center which enables you to tour not just the site of historic Fort Clatsop, but the grounds as well, and all sorts of exhibits inside. After the debris from the fire was cleared away, an organization came in and they did another archaeological dig at the site of historic Fort Clatsop to see if they could find any additional artifacts that might have been left from the time frame of the original expedition or since then. You can also now be able to walk the Fort to Sea Trail, a project between the Oregon National Guard and the National Park. The path follows as closely as possible the trail that would have been used by the Corps of Discovery as they left Fort Clatsop to get down to the ocean to access the salt works, etc. Here we see Ecola State Park and the beaches along the Pacific Ocean near Seaside and Cannon Beach, where members of the expedition had the opportunity to see the great whale that washed ashore in December of 1805. They actually got to the whale in January of 1806. And once you get to Seaside, in addition to seeing the marvelous statue there of Lewis and Clark and the location at the end of the trail, you also get to see the historic salt works. Here's where the Corps, of course, boiled the water from the ocean to obtain salt that they actually used to eat, to flavor their meat, to preserve meat. It gave the Corps an excellent activity during the winter of 1805 and 1806 and help prepare their food for the journey back home. Now back to Scott Mandrell in the Lewis and Clark Then and Now office.
Once again, thanks for having joined us today for the 1st of December 2005 edition of Live with Lewis, as we shared with you the crossing of the Columbia River. We hope you enjoyed that, and as we hear oftentimes, don't try this at home. It is a very, very dangerous thing, and of course that was probably really the height and culmination of many years of work, study and preparation for that crossing, and many, many months of actual training as we moved across America's waterways. And it was an exciting crossing for us. We hope you enjoyed watching that. We want you to please remember that you can send your questions and comments to us at lewisandclark@clayton.k12.mo.us, which is the address shown there on your screen. And don't forget that immediately following today's Live with Lewis broadcast, one of our distance learning broadcasts will follow, dealing specifically with Fort Clatsop, both the original fort as well as the reconstruction effort that's going to be taking place near Astoria, Oregon as well. Thanks so much, and until we see you next time, peace and friendship, and we proceed on.